Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. I am mobile tonight, so welcome. I can see you in the chat and I'm here. I can see you all live. So thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Dave, in the chat there. Yes, the session is being recorded. We're just getting everybody live and then we'll start and get going. So if you've not been before, welcome on YouTube, welcome on LinkedIn, and welcome wherever you're watching. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. Just get everybody in, make sure everybody's here. Now, whilst we're waiting for everybody, I want to make a deal, right? I'm not keen on death by PowerPoint, and I know you're not keen on death by PowerPoint, but if you leave me hanging here, I'm going to have to bore you with PowerPoint. I'm only joking. So please do ask questions in the chat. Love to hear your viewpoints. The topic of tonight is personal branding, right? We're going to talk about it, but we're actually going to talk about building your personal brand. And of course, I provocatively put on the title about sob stories or substance. And we're going to really dig into this. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that I think are essential for personal branding and some of the things that are actually a massive distraction. So please do interact in the chat. Hi from Los Angeles, great. Hi Teresa, hi Pam. So it's awesome to have you all here. If we're not connected on LinkedIn or we've not met, come find me on LinkedIn. I'm Dean Seddon. I'm the founder of MAVERRIK. And I really want to kind of tackle something I'm seeing on LinkedIn at the front end here. Hi, Sayatan and Lisa. I want to tackle at the front end here something that has kind of really messed up a lot of what we call personal branding. So we're seeing a lot of, on LinkedIn particularly at the moment, personal sob stories. People saying, oh, I stumped my toe, or somebody was nasty to me, or this happened. And my view is, hello, Victoria from Denmark. My view is it's great to be vulnerable. It's great to share a bit of who you are. But if you're just gaming the algorithm with provocative posts, you're not really building a personal brand. You're basically becoming a melodrama. And we've seen this in the media. We've seen this in celebrity culture, where people live and keep their attention and their profile with their melodramas and their provocative behaviors. That for me is not personal branding. Personal branding is about you deciding to clearly articulate who you are in as simple a format as possible that can be remembered. Hi, Alicia from Jamaica. Hi, Jason from, it's popped off, but hi, Jason. Hi, Michael from Florida. So personal branding for me is not this whingy stuff that you see on social media. Hi, Suzanne. It's just a total distraction. And the problem is it performs. It does perform. If you go onto LinkedIn and tell somebody one of your personal stories of something that's horrific that's happened to you, guess what? You will get traction, you will get engagement, and you will get reach. But for what? For what? It's great to be known as a good person and a nice person. Absolutely. I think all of us would want that. But it's more important that we are known for our expertise. It's more important that you're known for your expertise. It's more important you're known for your results, not the 27,000 likes you got because somebody was rude to you in a shop, or because you've had a bad day, right? It's fine to share that stuff every now and then, but you see it. Has anybody else seen this, or is it just me? Is it just me that sees this? People saying they have a personal tragedy every week. It's just playing games with social media algorithms. and it becomes a distraction to your personal brand. And I want you from this session to get really clear on what's going to make the difference for you in building your personal brand on LinkedIn. What's going to make the difference? What's going to move the needle for you and get really clear? What's going to really change the game for you? Right? And Kimberly says, I see that it's not just me. Thank you, Jason, because I feel like an old grump when I see this and go, what are we doing? It's great to be sharing selfies. It's great to be sharing bits of your life. But if that's all you share, you become known as that person who's famous for being famous. We don't really know what you're about. We don't know really what value you bring, but you are in everybody's faces because you're a spectacle. That for me is not personal brand. Being a spectacle is not a personal brand. So what are the principles you need to employ? What are the things that you need to do to build a personal brand? And I'd love to know, and I'm going to ask the question, and there's a 10 or 15 second delay on this line tonight. What's the one thing you want to be known for? Put it in the chat. What's the one thing you want to be known for? Out of all the things that you want your target market to know, what's the one thing? Yeah, Nadal, very good point. Some people have personal posts every day or every week, and there's always some drama going on or some problem, or the worst, some of the ones is where they're living their best life every day. It's like they don't even work. And it's bad for society too. Integrity, career coaching, expertise. Hey, Raul, go-to person in my field, partner marketing, positivity, professionalism. Okay, quality of service, great. Professionalism, brill. Okay, these are all good answers. Yeah, these are all good answers. Being a contribution, I care about people and their safety, right? Now, if you're selling your expertise, so if you're looking to use your expertise to get hired, to recruit clients, you're going to want to basically do more than just be known as a professional, to be known more than just an expert. You want to be known as the person who can change the world of those people, the person. So very often, and this is the big frustration, when you start to create personal branding, you almost have to simplify who you are. You have to make it clearer that people can latch onto one thing, and things like professionalism, integrity, honesty, strong values, those things have to come out through your personal brand, but they aren't your personal brand. They are the values behind the brand. They're the values behind you as a person. But the personal brand itself has to be defined so that people can immediately associate who you are, and the value you bring into their world. So what I want to ask you, right, is if there was, you take your expertise and think about your expertise, your knowledge, your subject matter, your track record. Out of your expertise, what's the one thing you want them to know about that? What's the one thing you want them to know about your expertise? Nidal's got it there. The career coach that helps you land your dream job. Right? And this is really important. You have to align your personal brand, who you are, your identity, excuse me, align your identity with the transformation your expertise brings. So everybody on earth is selling some form of transformation. In other words, we are in one place and we are trying to get to another place. And the difference between those those destinations, those points, the distance between point A and point B is those 2 points is your value, is your personal brand. If you want people to come to you in one place and your personal brand helps them get to another place, the gap is your value. The gap is your brand. In other words, I can help you go from here to here. So if I want to change the world, I want to make the world a better place. That's quite broad and generalized. How do I want to make the world a better place? What will the world look like when I've made it a better place? What will I get rid of? In one sense, and hopefully none of you tune out on this point because it's a bit toxic, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're a politician. You're a politician, and you're appealing to the public to be elected. And when you create a platform for people to vote, to back you, believe in you, and to remember you, you have to set out your stall and say, this is what I want to do. I want to make the world different in this way for this reason. And you have to choose to align who you are and your cause or your mission, and they become one. So if you're selling your expertise and you have a mission and values and all those stuff, they become one, wrapped around the journey you're going to take people on. Leslie's already a politician. Yeah, so that's great. So if we think about, and here's a good example actually in the chat. So Marietta does being a video editor for coaches who want to use videos to teach their clients online. Now, Marietta, I'm going to go one step further. I want you to define yourself further than that as not what you do, but the mission you're on. So the mission you're on is to help coaches use video to communicate, to teach their students in clear, concise, and compelling ways. So you're actually about helping people really land their value and communication. So we need to think about the mission, the world we want to change, and we need to set our stall on that's what we want to change. This is what we want it to look like, and this is who I am. So my personal brand is very much defined as I help people build a 6-figure pipeline and win clients on LinkedIn. That's who I am. That's what I'm about. Could I help people on Instagram? Could I help people on Facebook? Could I help people on Twitter? Of course I could. But I've chosen this is the method and this is the outcome my brand builds. So if you hang around me, if you work with me, that's what you're going to get. That's what I do. That's what I'm about. And you have to define your personal brand in that way. And I'm going to walk you through some of the practical steps you can do on LinkedIn. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. I'm going to show you some key things you should be doing on your profile to help you elevate your personal brand and really be consistent so you can bang that drum and become known as the go-to expert in your world for your audience. Yeah. So it's got to be really clear, really straightforward and simple for people to get. So Sabina, I love that. You want to make it, you want to normalize the situation, normalize the communication and get rid of that stigma about being out of work. That's awesome. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll have a look at it now. And I want to talk to you about what are the essential things to have in your personal brand. And I'll just zoom in on my browser just so you can see it a little clearer, just in case. So this is my profile. And by all means, come follow me and connect with me. And if you see any of my content in the feed, as I say on my call to action, which I'm going to show you in a minute, do look after me and favor me with the gods. So if you see one of my posts, give it a bit of support, favor me with the gods. So the LinkedIn gods, the algorithm gods. So first things first, if you want to really build that personal brand, you have to put a label on yourself. You are a complex, nuanced human being. I am a complex, nuanced human being. And very often, one of the things that frustrates us is when we try and define ourselves, we struggle because, well, I like this, and I'm also like this, and I'm like this, and I'm like this. I just want to kind of just be honest for a moment and say, you will never get a personal brand that fully represents the three-dimensional 360 view of you. You just won't, right? I am on here talking to you today, and this is the Dean that you're seeing, but with my family, I'm a different Dean. That's just how I work. I'm not the same Dean in every situation with every group of people. The way I am right now here with you, actually, in a small group environment, maybe a small event, I'm a very less animated person. I've just got used to communicating through video. So we are a makeup of different versions of ourselves. And so sometimes what happens is we get ourselves in a kind of internal tug of war about, yeah, but I love this, and I love this, and I like this, and I like this. Just relax about that stuff. Relax about this stuff, but settle on your mission. Your mission is clear. I am trying to change the world by helping people build a six-figure pipeline on LinkedIn, a six-figure pipeline, and win clients on LinkedIn. And it's quite clear on my LinkedIn header. Why do I need this on my LinkedIn header? Because I have to create what is a campaign slogan that says, this is what I'm all about. Is it everything I do? No, but it's the clearest way to communicate the value I bring to the world. It's the clearest way. Yeah. If you aren't clear on how you should be defined, guess what? The world won't be able to clearly define you either. So I'm condensing all of the things that matter to Dean into one statement, which is a clear, big promise statement. It's a big promise statement. Build a six-figure pipeline and win clients on LinkedIn is my go-to-market statement. It's my big promise to the world. So people can quickly go, this is what Dean's about. Can he help me? Right? But I don't stop there. I don't stop there. The first thing I do is my LinkedIn header right here has got my big promise statement clear in your face, right there in front. And you need to do the same. Get that statement of how you're going to change the world and put it on your LinkedIn header, smack bang front and center. Scott's just asked shared something in the chat, which I think is quite good. Yeah, the biggest challenge, choosing the t-shirt to wear that screams who you are and what value you bring. I just went through that. It's absolutely key that you define that personal brand big promise statement. Lilaka, good question. What if you've got loads of expertise for this season? Yeah, for a season, you have to be known for something specific. So if you look at all of the people and the people we want to kind of look at are the people who've been very successful in leveraging their personal brand. And if you look at them, they're actually known for one thing. Now, as they mature in their brand and they build that brand, they explore different things, but they do it from actually, I was this. And let's just pick one example. I'll just show you one example. Bruce Willis, brilliant actor. He's played comedy roles. He's played all sorts of roles, but what role does he typically get? He gets the action hero. He's retiring now. He's not very well. He's in his 60s, I think, 60s or 70s. But you get known, you typecast yourself, and you use that typecasting to your advantage. And that's really what personal branding is. And when we come to LinkedIn, we are deliberately, willfully, and thoughtfully typecasting ourselves, which sounds nuts because typecasting is like a negative. Well, actually, it's a positive too. Jim Carrey, very well-known comedy actor, typecast himself. He did very, very well out of it. So key here is, number one, make sure you've got this big promise statement. And that big promise statement needs to be across all of your social media identity. And I'm going to show you this, how you do this and how you build this into a call to action. So I get leads every other day from my LinkedIn by just being very narrow and focused on who my personal brand, what my personal brand is, what my message to the world is, and all my content, everything about what I do flows out of that. So I'll show you what I do, but this is the setup for the personal brand. This is the setup. And I'm going to fly through a whole load of stuff. So you're going to need a notepad now because we're going to get really practical really quickly. So first things first, the top half of my LinkedIn profile, I've got my header with my big promise statement, smack bang in the middle. Number two. Yeah, that's a good point, Sabina, there. Number two, in my headline, I have my personal brand reiterated, right? The big promise is a statement you should leverage over and over and over and over again. You will be sick of the big promise statement. And about the time when people are starting to catch it, your inkling will be to, oh, maybe I should change it. Do not change it. Hold your ground. Think of it like an election campaign. You've got one slogan and you repeat it. And I'm going to give you a little tip about this, right? Are you ready? You all ready for this tip? When you think election campaign slogan, and let's just be really playful, right? We're just going to have some fun here, right? When you think of an election campaign slogan, what's the first election slogan that comes to your mind? Put it in the chat. What's the first election slogan that comes to your mind? Put it in the chat that you remember. You don't have to agree with the election slogan. Just which is the one that you remember the most? Which is the one you remember the most? I don't know whether anybody be brave enough to put this here, right? I don't know whether anybody be brave. What's the campaign slogan? Yes, we can. 2009, Obama. Yeah. No taxes. I'd love to know who did that one. Yeah. Hope. Yes, we can. Obama. Yes, we can. Hope. Make America Great Again. Rob, that's a good one. It's not a good one. Get myself in trouble here. The Make America Great Again as a marketing piece, as a campaign slogan, it was ingenious. It was absolutely ingenious because it spoke to a better future. Now, we'll not get into whether that actually happened or not. I don't want to start a row. What I'm saying is it was ingeniously put together and it was repeated over and over and over and over again. And that's what people wanted. So that's what people voted for. No, I'm not, Luigi. I'm not getting into the rights and wrongs of it. I'm just saying the slogan itself was very cleverly put together. So we want to use our campaign slogan, our big promise, everywhere and put it everywhere. So it's in my header. It's in my LinkedIn headline. I put it there, right? So it's clear and all of my content breaks down off of that, but it's very, very obvious. It's not nuanced. It's not complicated. It's like, this is it. This is it. This is clear. This is it. That's what you want. You want your statement to be as simple as possible, and you repeat it. It's here, and it's even in my content. I'm going to show you it in my content. Yes, repeat it over and 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 over again. You will get sick of that campaign slogan way more faster than anybody else. This is my LinkedIn post the other day. Yeah. DM me win if you want to get clients on LinkedIn. Yeah. And this is my call to action, which is also linked to my big promise. It's on everything I do. Yes. Sabina, your slogan is effectively your site, your big promise is your slogan. It's your strapline. It's like, this is how you're going to be known. And I have, at the same time, I have a call to action, which is DM me win to get clients from LinkedIn, if you want to get clients on LinkedIn. So I've got my big promise, and then I've got a call to action to help people, make it easy for them to respond. And I've chosen to define myself in a very particular way. And the reason why I've done that is because I have a program that helps people build their offer out, build their personal brand, do all of that stuff that we need to do to consistently win clients without the pushy sales pitches. So this is fundamental to that process. So my personal brand is connected to the things I'm going to do and how I'm going to help the world. And how I'm going to help the world is the six-figure accelerator. Notice the language here. Yeah, my accelerator program, six-figure accelerator, is also linked to my big promise and winning clients. And my everything wraps around this one statement that brings clarity to the world about how I help them, how I deliver value into the world, how I deliver the transformation. And in this case, the transformation is consistently winning clients and building that six-figure pipeline. And so that is repeated in my content everywhere I go. And I find new ways to basically pad out and explain my big promise in my posts, in my communication style. Everything is connected. And so if I just go back through again, I'll show you some other ones. Look what my newsletter is called, Win on LinkedIn. It's all connected. So suddenly people start to get the impression, I think this Dean helps people win clients on LinkedIn. Why? Because everything he talks about is related to winning clients. Dead simple. I'm not sure LinkedIn is ready to hear this. Another post that I'm sharing about what I do. I'm a stuck record, but I am showing it in different ways. How to fill your LinkedIn network with prospects. Simple. Now, there is one more thing that's partly useful, is your call to action. Raphael, I agree. The MAGA slogan was designed deliberately to affect or to appeal to very disillusioned voters. And it was targeted for that purpose. And I don't think it would work with any other group. It was about people who felt disaffected, let down by the system, and it appealed to them really well. So if you look at this, I've also got my call to action footer, which I use on about a quarter of my posts, which says, hi, I'm Dean. I help solopreneurs, salespeople, and senior execs to win on LinkedIn. Follow me for more tips and tactics. Give me favor with the gods, like, comment, and repost, and DM me win to get clients on LinkedIn. I say that on 1 out of every 4 posts. And I'm literally explaining my big promise in multiple different ways and different angles every single day. So I become typecast as this is the guy to talk to about LinkedIn and getting clients. Jan's asked the question, how should I balance my strength, experience, and the specific market my company is in? Good question. So, Jan, it depends how much you're using your LinkedIn for work. But what I would do is think about where's the overlap between what you're doing in your career and what you're doing in what your skill set is and your strengths are, and at least align them as much as you possibly can. If you don't have to use your LinkedIn for your work, then by all means, you could actually, just do what you like, as long as you don't, bring your employer into disrepute or anything like that. But you can use your LinkedIn however you like. If you don't need to use it for work, you can define yourself by your full strengths and experience. If you're using it partially for work, as an employed member of staff or member of the leadership, then you will need to kind of hybrid. Yeah, Denise, there's still an element. So Nidal, I'll come to your question. There's still an element of personality and personal stuff in there because people want to get to know the other side. But to be honest with you, do you really want to know about my sob stories other than if it helps you build some trust? So if I share about some of the mistakes I've made and how I've learned from them, if I share about some of the things that have set me back, that will benefit people, absolutely. If I share every so often a bit about my personal life, fine. But it shouldn't be the majority of your content because you want to be known for a skill. If we just use celebrities as an example, right? Whenever a celebrity's personal life becomes the main story, it's always the downward spiral of their career. Always. It's always the case. When their personal life takes over their career and their skill set, it's a downward spiral. But people do like to know little bits about their life and what they've been doing, little elements that adds another dimension of them as a human. Great. But what we're seeing right now is more personal brand, more personal than brand. And so I've seen this myself. People who say they're personal branding consultants, you look through their posts and it's just all selfies. It's all them sharing their personal sob stories. Where's the expertise? Where's the insight? Well, there isn't any. They've leveraged their personality. They've leveraged their face, and that's fine. But you won't be known for the thing that you transform people. So now, what if the clients are already making six figures? Do you still attract them? I put six figures on my slogan. Well, I'm saying building a six-figure pipeline, and I appeal to solopreneurs, senior execs, and small businesses. So that is potentially up to a £900,000 pipeline from LinkedIn, just from LinkedIn. Now, I've had a client who's closed £4 million worth of business, but I can't. If I say, "Oh, I can help you build a 6 to 7 figure pipeline," it becomes vague and a bit wishy-washy. So I had to pin my colors to something. And so people are drawn to it because I know my experience is I've helped people do it and achieve it. So I'm going to say it. Now, when companies approach me and they say, we've got a sales team, that might be the sales teams individually need to hit a 6-figure pipeline, and that's cool. But that's what I do. Lilika has asked, is it essential to write articles and share posts commenting on them to show my expertise as part of my personal branding? If yes, how often should it be? So there's two parts to this, right? Content is very important in terms of building your personal brand and being known. Now, in the early days, you can provide commentary on other people's content, but you do have to make your own, because that's how people really understand your expertise. Yes, you can go into articles and comment on them, but you need to share your insight, your opinions, where you feel strongly. So if you see something in an industry, I don't mean attack it, but you have to be firm in what you believe. Yes, you see all these other trends, but this is what I believe. This is what I stand for. And you have to share it, because cheesy marketing statement, but it's true, your vibe attracts your tribe. And this comes to my next point. So we build out our profile, we create our call to actions, we start creating our posts and stuff. Note, by the way, that notepad and pen moment, I use three colors on my posts. It's blue, it's white, and it's black. 3 colors, blue, white, and black. I only use 3 colors. I use the same font all the time. Why? I'm trying to build some visual consistency too. But it leads me to the next point, which is really important. And I'm going to ask please throw some more questions in, because I'll answer some more questions about personal branding for LinkedIn in a moment. And this is the difficult one, because this is about you as a person. This is not about doing it. This is about you as a person. And this is I struggled with this for a long time. It really was a struggle with this. Alicia Steele. Oh, Alicia, we'll chew the fat on that in a minute, right? And here is, and in fact, this point is going to hint at that. One of your biggest challenges is you don't want to be disliked. You don't want to be disliked. And so that in itself, trying not to be disliked, I'm not saying trying to provoke people into hating you. There's a difference. Trying not to be disliked. I don't want people to be upset with me. That kind of trying to stop something that hasn't happened is the number one reason why your content is generic. It lacks any opinion, and you write in a very passive voice. A fear of offending other people, and I'm not saying you go out to deliberately offend people. That's not what I'm saying. But you might have opinions on your subject matter, your topic, that you're holding back because you're afraid somebody might disagree with you. Somebody might criticize you. Somebody might say you're wrong. You might say something that backfires. You cannot live like that. You cannot operate a personal brand that way. The reason being is your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you don't have any opinions, if you don't if there's nothing you won't die on a hill for, you will basically be a curator of discussion, but people won't align with what you believe, and they won't see things from your worldview because you don't have one. You're not putting one out because of the fear of what if somebody says I'm wrong? What if a study comes out and tells me that this is wrong? What if somebody calls me out and says they disagree? What happens? This is the number one thing that will hold you back. And to come back to the point that was mentioned earlier, your content needs to have an opinion. You need to take a stand. You don't need to throw other people under the bus. You don't need to kind of say other people are wrong and attack people, but you can say, look, lots of people believe this, but I'm not in that camp. This is what I think. This is what I believe. I'm prepared to fight for this cause because of this. And that's what gets people to believe in you, because they can see the passion. They can see you really believe it, and you're prepared to share your opinions. People don't like to step out. The people don't like, I know we all want the success of being in the public eye, but we don't want the risk and the criticism of being in the public eye. So when somebody is prepared to step out, to rise above out of the parapets, to be visible with their opinions, you get respect. People respect that. And if people align with what you believe, they will align with you. Denise has asked a question. Mavericks, yes. Denise has asked a question. Let me just see if I can find it. Yes, Denise, of course you can receive the recording. And we've got a little worksheet you can have on the personal branding. I'm going to put my email address on the screen, hi@maverick.io. We've got a personal branding worksheet, and it'll help you just ask some key questions that will help you think through, who am I? What are my opinions? And write them down. You know, the act of writing them down forces you to go, this is what I really believe. This is what I really think. So I must do something about it. And every time you write that post, or you start to write something and you avoid your own opinion, you know that fear is getting in the way of your building your personal brand. Yeah. Be professionally bold, polite. You don't have to choose to offend people, but you do have to share what you think and what you believe. And people will be attracted to that because they see somebody with conviction. They see somebody with something, some fire in the belly for something. So it's absolutely important that you do that. So your beliefs are what hold you back. Now, when it comes to content, I can't remember the person's name, but they asked, what happens when a client doesn't follow your advice? This is a side question, but I want to answer it because it is a big challenge and you'll all face it. I've had an experience. Yeah, it is. Challenge, not disparage. Alicia, it was. Alicia, I've had this same scenario. I've had clients where they come to you and say, you're the expert, I'll do what you say. And within minutes or within a few days, they're trying to tell you what to do. This is about boundaries, and I struggle with it, will always struggle with it. But the key thing is, when you build your personal brand, here's one of the things you can do. Set your rules of how you work. Rules are very attractive, believe it or not. Write posts about them. Here are 3 non-negotiables about how I work with my clients. They have to listen to my advice. They have to understand that I have a process. And if they don't like the process, they need to find somebody else. Maybe that's a bit direct, but you have to hold that together because I've seen it time and time again, and I've experienced it time and time again. Client hires you for your expertise. Then client begins to tell you how to do the project, whatever that may be. You decide, because you don't want to please the client, and this is really important. I'm using the word please on purpose because it links back to your personal brand. You decide to please the client by going along with what they're saying. In your gut, you know it could be a problem, but you're pleasing the client, and the client's told you to do this, so you're going to follow the client's advice. When that goes wrong, the client will turn around, look at you and go, but you're the expert. So the boundaries that you put in to you might seem like they're a bit demanding. I'm being a bit egotistical. I'm a bit up myself. I'm a bit diva. But when it gets to the end and you didn't put those boundaries in, the client will blame you for not having those boundaries. And that's the truth. And the reason I use the word please is because the pleasing issue is the very same thing that is causing you to avoid sharing your opinions. You want to please people. You want to win people over to your idea. And so you soften up your message. You use passive voice. You might want to. This is how I think. I'm not saying you attack other people. I'm not saying you rubbish other ideas. I'm saying you speak confidently about why you believe in your own ideas, your own mission, so that people can go, they believe in it, they're sincere, I love what they've got to say, I love how they share it, I'm in, I buy into them. My whole business is about pleasing the owners. I'm getting into a new industry. They know I'm not the expert. My whole business is about pleasing the owners. Well, Denise, I don't think it's about pleasing the owners. I think it's about delighting the owners. And this is where the difference is. I use please because please is about incrementally trying to keep the client from being upset. It's trying to keep the client happy. What fundamentally gets the client happy is you get them to an outcome. So Denise, it's like you're talking about my situation. Come on, Dean, you're really helping me. I appreciate you doing this live and answering my question. You're welcome, Alicia. Denise, we're not here to please clients. We're here to give them a result, a transformation. And sometimes the pleasing of the client and the result, the delight, the outcome are in total conflict with each other. For an example, I notice you say in travel and hospitality professional. I'm not 100% sure what you do there, but say for an example, I want to go on a world cruise, right? Why do I want to go on a world cruise? I want to see the world. I want to have a great time. I want to imagine, all of the things, the picture that I'm creating in my mind. If you were a travel consultant, I would be paying you to realize my dream. I would be paying you to realize my dream. How you got me there is, in one sense, not important if I get you there. But I could say, yeah, I want to realize my dream of going around the world, but on reflection, I want to do it on a bus. Right? And I want to go this way. And you know that's a bad idea. You have to tell the client. You have to stand up and say, that's not going to be work. If you're imagining seeing all these amazing places and then you're choosing, and I'm using a ridiculous example, 14 hours on a bus, that's not going to be a great thing. You're going to get to see all these places, but you're going to be angry, tired, probably grumpy. You're going to be, your joints are going to be aching because you'll be sat in one place for 14 hours, all of that. So pleasing for me is not what we're here to do. We're here to get a client to a destination. And sometimes we have to set those boundaries and say, look, you're paying me, and I have to do this with my clients on the six-figure accelerator. And I'll tell you a funny story, actually. I have to say, look, you have joined my program because you want to get to a result. I'm giving you the guidance of how you can get there. If you want to follow a different path, if you want to make your own path and you want to do it different to everything else that's worked for my clients, that's fine. But at the end, do not hold me accountable for the outcome. If you're good with that, we'll do it your way, but do not hold me accountable for the outcome. And then suddenly they go, well, and it changes. Because basically what we're doing is we're telling them, you're leading now, you're in charge. You are now the expert because you are now telling me what to do, and I'm helping you do what you want to do. Not, I'm the expert helping you get to where you want to go. Let's see if there's any more questions. Yes, Sabina, exactly right. Exactly right. So look, your personal brand, right? It's the most intangible thing and it's the most tangible thing. It's the thing that people will latch onto. But for you, the first step is about defining who you are. And like I said, we've got a worksheet that asks you some key questions. It asks you critical questions that will help you really figure this out, really get the clarity on it. So if you want a copy of the worksheet, drop me an email. My email address is on screen. So just drop me an email, send me an email. Don't put your email in the chat. Just drop me an email, hi@maverick.io. It's a bit late now, but tomorrow we'll send you the questionnaire. And you can use that to help you define yourself. And somebody earlier said they spent 2 weeks reflecting on it and they got so much clarity. Well, these are some of the questions that will help you reflect and get that clarity so that you know who you are and what you stand for. And so when you know that, you can tell the world that. You can project that out to the world through your content, through your profile, through the things that you say, the things that you share, your values, your beliefs, how you live your life, the works. So if you want a copy of that worksheet, please do drop me an email. I think it's on screen. I'm just looking on my second screen here, hi@maverick.io. Drop me an email. The other thing is I've talked a little bit about my 6-figure accelerator program. If you're in that position where you go, I want this brand up, I want it to work, and I want it to be profitable for me. I want to build something that actually will be profitable. I'm not looking for overnight success. I'm looking to build something over the next 3 to 6 months. That's where the 6-figure accelerator really comes in. So if you want to email me about that, ask me any questions about that. I'm not here to kind of do a QVC sales pitch, but if people want to know, if you want to know about it, drop me an email, drop me a DM, and I'll tell you about it, send you some info on it as well. But it's clear in this day and age, you have to choose to define yourself so that the world can clearly see who you are and the value you can bring into their lives and their business. And so whether you're looking for a new role, whether you're looking for new clients, whether you're looking for investors, you have to be defined by your brand. I had an employer asked us about our branding all the time with a simple question. Why do people call you? I wish I understood the power of that question years ago. It's all about branding. Exactly right. That's such a good answer, Scott, there. That's such a good comment. Why would people dial you? Yeah. So think about it. A good analogy here. When you ring the police, 999 in the UK, 911 in the US, what are you ringing for? You need somebody to come because something's happened. When you ring the fire service for an emergency, why? They are known for doing something. You have to choose to be known for something. Yes, Yehuda, if you send me an email, Yehuda, send me an email, hi@maverick.io. I'll send you the worksheet, but it will be tomorrow. It's quite late in the UK here, but we'll get it back to you tomorrow. How do you differentiate from others in personal branding or providing seamless experience with clients? So, Hector, good question. How do you differentiate yourself? Well, you've got your big promise, which will be different to others. You've got your color scheme, which will be different to others. These are all the obvious ones. You've got all of those. But then you've got your values and beliefs, which will be totally different to other people's. And you've got your personality, which you can inject into every post, your style, your message, the works. That's what makes you different. There are probably thousands of people who help people win business on LinkedIn like me. Probably thousands of them. But there's only one me. And my way is different to other people's. My nuances are different to other people's. So I'm different because I'm Dean. So Dean and my message is totally connected. So if you put me up and another person that's like me, guess what? You will see a difference. We could offer LinkedIn, getting clients from LinkedIn, and one person could be saying messaging and do it this way. And I go, no, I do it this way. This is what works for me. This feels better. This gets better result. So I am the differentiator. You are the differentiator. And if you can't, real good telltale sign, if you're not sure of the difference between you and a competitor, say, that means there's not enough of your values, your beliefs, and your style injected into the way you're presenting yourself. So for an example, I'll give you an example. I do these lives every single week, and I do them, and I've got no notes here. I talk from the heart. I tell you what I think. I tell you what I do with my clients. Sometimes I have PowerPoints. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just talk with you like this. But you'll see that it comes from me. There's no kind of like formal. And as you can see on the chart, it's like, no, that's not me. I'm sharing with you things that are going to change the game for you because I believe them. And so that's my differentiator. The way Dean does it is his differentiator. I don't do it the same as somebody else. Any other questions before I wrap up? I've not had dinner yet, so I'm going to have dinner in a second. But I really do appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming, supporting my content. I appreciate you when you show up. And I also, I want to give back into your world. So get that worksheet, drop that email in. It will be tomorrow. Sorry, I can't get it to you tonight, but I will get it to you tomorrow. And if you want to know how I help you build that brand on LinkedIn, win those clients, monetize your platform and really get your personality into it, again, drop me a line, ask me a question, tell you about it. Any more questions? Any more for any more? Going once? Going twice? Thank you so much for joining me. We're back next week. Thank you, Michael. And I'll see you next week.